Hello, this is Mish. As you may have seen, the OA Part 2 trailer was released by Netflix. If you haven't seen the first season, it's something I recommend. I really enjoyed it. So just briefly, the OA is a story of Nina growing up, either having mental issues or spiritual near-death experiences. So if you haven't seen it, just go and watch it. So let's break down the trailer and share our theories. When I initially watched trailer Part 2, I believed it would have secrets and mysteries hidden away, and after further analysis, I found a few hidden gems. So let us start with the obvious stuff. So first off, we see some Braille writing. Now there's a Braille translator online, so it's very easy to figure this one out. So you just chuck in the Braille there, and it translates to the word survive. So the OA has survived, or possibly a part of her has survived. Then we see a flashing bridge, and we see that bridge flashing, I guess, upside down, and then it kind of doubles up as well. Then we cut to a scene of flowing water. Now I think this component here about the bridge and about the flowing water is a reference to her suicide attempt in the first season, and the transition that was mentioned below. And I quote, so this was from the last episode at the very end. This is something that Prairie said, I guess probably thinking while she was speeding away in the ambulance. A bit of a narration. So she said, they said it would be invisible, like jumping into an invisible current that just carries you away. Now I think that line really matches this component here. And once again, a reference to her suicide attempt. So the bridge, the river, could just be a metaphor for her transition to the afterlife or having a near-death experience. There's also a sound of someone breathing heavily at the end of that. Sounds like a male to me, so I think it could either be Homer or possibly Steve. If you remember Steve, he was running after the ambulance in season 1, and he was breathing heavily, so it kind of matches that type of situation that was occurring. So it could be him or possibly Homer. Okay, so now let's talk about the little subtleties that I noticed. Things that I picked up when I was really dissecting down on this. So the very start, the very first scene, we see some windows. And I knew I recognized them. So let me just put up the image here where they're from. So as you can see, they're from Homer's NDE. Now it's when he's running away from something or somebody, and he falls down next to a toilet, then runs to a room, and there's a fish tank there, and he panics and randomly eats a sea enemy at that point. Just to, I guess, remember it and work towards escaping. Combine this scene and the reference to the final scene of episode 8. So when we see OA wake up in a white room. Now for me, this would suggest that the OA is in that room. So we're seeing that room again as a reference, and we know that the OA finished with her in a white room. So this does kind of align quite nicely. So I think you could probably conclude that she has arrived in the same location that Homer has been in. So when he ate that sea anemone, that is the location that the OA is in currently. What also adds a little bit more weight to this little theory I've got here as well is the final little Easter egg that I found in this trailer. So in the smoke, you can see that there's someone's face hidden in there. Now I'll put a couple transitions up here because I'm pretty sure that it's actually the OA hidden in that smoke. So what would seeing someone's face in smoke suggest? Well, a couple of things that immediately spring to my mind would be, one thing, they're dead. Another one would be they're a spirit. Another one would be they're no longer physical. So which would, I guess, add that further leverage to the OA being in that white building because she's having an NDE. Or maybe she's just actually passed away. So either way, big suggestion here is that she's in that same building that Homer was in. And also add to that, she did say Homer's name at the end of that scene in the final episode. The only other part I want to raise here is there was a recent interview with Britt Marling. So she was one of the creators and the main star as well. So she was the OA. Interesting lines from the interview. So a couple of them were mentioning, I guess, how part 1 wrapped up. And she was saying, in some ways, it is a self-contained story, allowing them to face their own moment of crisis at the end. So that's really, you could take that as a summary of, that's probably the end of what we're going to see around the 5 new characters. The last line that she said as well, which was pretty cool, is the science fiction, metafictional elements are open-ended, so there can be a part 2 in which we can delve into those spaces. So my interpretation of those couple of lines there that I've read from the article, I'll put the article link below as well if you want to have a read of it, would be the next part 2, or the next season, will be more centric to their experiences in the afterlife and the OA communicating with Homer and the others, trying to assist them with their escape. Does this also imply that the OA is possibly dead or having an ND at this time? This whole situation is all up for debate. The first season, this trailer, and what the second season or part 2 will contain. So that's why this show is pretty amazing, because I think it sparks really good conversation between people and really good theories flying everywhere as well. So let's begin those theories. Put your comments below, your thoughts on the trailer and where part 2 or season 2 is going to go. If you did like this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it as well on social media, as always appreciated, and subscribe for future content from myself here. And until next time, this is Mish, thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.